So, hello and welcome to this week's photography Pubcast. I hope you guys are well. This is the last one of 2021. Unfortunately, there's only 4 of us here this week because James and Paul can't make it. But, you know, we'll try and do the best we can with the 4 of us, which is the original 4, actually, guys.
The Fab 4.
Yeah.
There is a substantial downside to it, though, that all 4 of us are going to look bigger on the screen.
Yes, that is unfortunate.
That's true.
I think what I might do, actually, I might pull up a little bit of footage of the very first Pubcast and just play that for 5 seconds so everyone can see just how amateur we were then compared to how really amateur we are now. Why don't we go round the group and have a chat about, you know, how our week's been. How's that sound? Who's first? Yeah, in your own time, no pressure.
Yeah, we should have had this.
How slick we are now.
Yeah, oh, we're so good now. We don't talk over each other so much, so that's one bonus, I guess.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So, how is everyone? How are you feeling, Darren?
Yeah, oh, sorry, hang on. Oh, no, I'm right, thanks, darling. Yeah, no, good. Yeah. Sorry, say that again. Sorry. I was knocked on the door, sorry. Ask that, start again.
Don't worry, no problem. It's okay.
What were you saying about professionalism?
I know, sorry.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, Darren? Because I wasn't very well last week, but you've been worse, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I'm day 5, I think it is now, into my COVID quarantine because I tested positive last Sunday morning. Well, that's when I got the results through anyway. So I was feeling really rough last Friday, like you was, Gal. I spent kind of all down bed. I tested negative in the morning, but I felt really rough in the evening. So I done a lateral flow. That one came back positive. Done another lateral flow on the Saturday. That one came back positive. Went for a PCR. And yeah, got me result on Sunday morning. There we go. And I must admit that today is my best day. I felt a lot more with it today. Today is the only day that I've not had an afternoon siesta. But I must admit, I'm flagging now. So if I do start to wane as the episode goes on, please accept my apologies. I felt so good earlier, but now I must admit I am thinking, I could go
So
to bed.
did they tell you if it's Delta or oh my God?
No, they didn't tell me what variant it was. When they rang me up, they did say, we might send you a test through the post. Do that test and then we can tell you what variant it is. But I'm guessing there's so many people at the moment. Was it 88,000 yesterday that got tested? So they probably haven't got enough tests to go round, you know. So
You're just a statistic now.
I'm just a stat, mate. That's all I am.
It's 93,000 today.
Was it 93?
Yeah, so it's gone up. I think yesterday you said it was 88. The day before was 78. So it's absolutely, it's just jumping up now.
Yeah.
Well, there's one positive. You haven't got to stick that bloody thing up your snout for a while, have you, on the back of your throat to take your lateral flow tests?
No.
They're horrible.
Really not nice.
Whoa.
But the worst thing is, though, I've lost all my taste and smell. But I'm still, not that there's a lot of taste. Before anybody says it in the comment section below, I know there's not a lot of taste in Carlsberg, but this is just like cold bubbles. That's it. I can't taste anything. But
And what's it like now you've got COVID?
I'm not even gonna answer it.
You see, I was ill last week, and I had all about.
It's all about you, isn't it?
It was. I fucking asked you how you were, you bastard.
Oh, it's all me.
Anyway, how are you, Dave?
I got a sore leg.
Come on, Gal. What was up with you last week? What was up with you last week?
Well, I'm the reason why we didn't do the podcast last week because I was ill leading up to it. Just stop grabbing the attention, mate. Come on. I was feeling rough last week, and so I asked I said, look, you guys, honestly, I said, you guys do it without me. It's fine. You know, no worries. The truth is no one wanted to edit it, so we didn't do it. But I'll be honest, this sounds really perverse, but I was kind of hoping it was COVID because we were
Yeah.
all okay. I had a really bad cough. My wife had a bad cough. My daughter had a bad cough. Felt rough and tired, but nothing majorly serious. And I was thinking, please, we did a PCR, and I was thinking, if this comes back positive, then that's it. It's almost like a sort of like a little bit of a get out of jail free card. But unfortunately, no, it came back negative, which means it was another horrible lurgy, and we're going to probably get COVID at some point. I think it's coming.
Do you know, I hear what you're saying though, because it was really bizarre because or perhaps I shouldn't say where, but there's somebody that I know, his wife got tested positive on the same day as Helen tested positive. Then he got COVID about 2 days after his wife and Helen. So the three of them was all kind of positive. And I didn't test positive for another week. But every time I was doing a lateral flow, I almost, as you're saying, it sounds a bit kind of perverse, but I wanted to test positive because in the end, I was just thought, I want to get this. I know you can catch it twice, but it was almost like pulling the Band-Aid off. You know what I mean? Thinking, I'm going to get this thing. I just want to get it now and see how I react to it and hopefully get over it. And then, and then hopefully I'm at least immune for, 3 months, is it? I think they're saying.
Something like that.
I don't know. So, but yeah, I hear what you're saying, Gal. I do. So it was a bit of a relief when I actually tested positive. Which doesn't it sound bizarre as we spent 18 months running away from the bloody thing, thinking, I hope I don't get it.
It does, but I just look at it now and think, this latest variant is, I'm no expert, none of us are any experts, but they're saying that it's, one person's infecting 5 others. That to me says that in a very short amount of time, most of the population are going to either have had it or have it. We're all going to get it, I think. I think I can't see there being a way that we're going to avoid this one.
No.
So it's almost like, well, I was sort of thinking, well, that one wasn't so bad. Let's hope that's it. But I don't know. I think we're all stuffed now, and I don't want to talk about the government, and but I don't think they've got a clue, and I don't think anyone who's in power would have had a clue how to deal with this.
Well, my only biggest disappointment, I suppose, of all is we've cancelled our week away at Christmas to the lakes because I don't come out of quarantine until the 22nd of December. We was meant to go away on the 26th, and you know what it's like. You guys are all obviously landscape photographers, and once you're in an idyllic place, you don't want to be cooped up either at home or in a motorhome or something. You want to be out. You want to, And I just thought, I've got to be sensible here, really. I just can't, 4 days after coming out of isolation, and I'll take myself up on the fells in the middle of winter. That's not going to do my lungs any good whatsoever, really, and I could end up coming back a lot worse than when I went up there. So reluctantly, I've had to put my sensible head on and cancel my trip at Christmas.
How many lakes trips has that you cancelled in the last couple of years, Darren?
Well, in the last, we had a blinding 2 weeks in August. And then, as you know, circumstances, what with mum getting ill and then, sadly passing away and obviously me catching COVID, I've cancelled a trip a month since August. So, August, September, October, November and December. So the last 4 months I've cancelled 4 trips. But next year, I'm sure it's going to be a good year. So.
Let's hope so.
Well, my cancellation is much worse than yours. I was supposed to go down to Wales this week to see Alan Coles, and I cancelled that. So that must be much worse than yours.
It must be, mate.
I was really looking forward to seeing Alan, but I had to cancel it because of Omicron. So sorry, Alan.
Why did Alan invite you down then?
No, I invited myself down.
You just invited yourself? Because I thought he's never invited me down.
Yeah,
it wasn't for photography.
He's breathing a huge sigh of relief right now.
No, it wasn't for photography. It was I was there for work, but I did agree to meet him while I was down there for a coffee and a catch up. So I got knocked on the head. Never mind. Sorry, Al.
I've cancelled my Christmas trip to Sainsbury's. That's gone now.
That's
unfortunately,
gone.
It's a victim of Omicron. So
I've got to get me turkey tomorrow from Sainsbury's.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
We like to call Omicron in our house Omlicron because it makes it sound a little bit less, scary.
Scary.
A bit more eggy. A bit more eggy.
More eggy.
Yeah. What have you done to your leg, Dave?
Nothing. I was just mucking about.
Oh, I was getting excited then. I thought you were going to have something exciting to tell us about, like some adventure up a hill.
I haven't been up a hill for ages, as it happens. I might bob up this weekend, but I was sort of holding on for my Christmas break. I haven't had any sort of a holiday, because I run my own businesses. You'd think that I could just sort of head off when I feel like it, but I get far fewer holidays now than I did back when I used to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
Which was, the last paycheck I got was about 1984. So I don't really have any sort of holiday time, and so always Christmas and New Year's the one time when I can be reasonably confident my punters aren't going to ring me up very much, and if they do, I can reasonably justify not picking up the phone. So I hope to do some epic hikes. It depends on the conditions. Of course, last year I couldn't. So I'm looking forward to that. Get up the Gliders and a few other ranges as well, because it's been a while. A lot of my photography recently has been sort of local stuff. In fact, I've been making up excuses for doing local stuff, sort of wrapping them up in a pseudo project and that sort of thing. So it sounds good, but actually it's because I can't be asked to get up the hills.
I saw your photos from Parry's Mountain. Is it Parry's Mountain? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
They were very good, and a nice little explanation of how you edited them all. That was good.
Yeah, it's my new sort of magazine format. I'll be chucking in all sorts of little snippets of content simply because going out and going, right, I'm now making a vlog. So you do your opening, you do your B-roll, all of that stuff. I just felt that it was really impacting on my photography, and it. In particular, it sort of really came into focus, spot the pun, when we were up in the lakes. Because I sort of thought, well, I better do a vlog because I haven't done one for ages. And I actually don't normally vlog when I'm out with mates. And it just sort of kind of reinforced the fact that making a vlog is a pain in the ass. Well, as you know, Gary, we stood by the lake and I thought, oh, I've got to do a piece to camera.
Yeah.
And I was sort of thinking, no, I don't. But then, well, yes, I do. It's I've got an angel on one shoulder, a devil on the other. I won't say which is which, but so this new format allows me to go out, take a picture, and then if it looks interesting, do a quick piece to camera and then stitch it all together later. So I'm making them over a period of time. And I'm really enjoying it because I'm enjoying, the photography is much easier. And putting it all together is easier as well. And, I still grab a bit of contextual B-roll. Here's a bit of Paris Mountain. And actually, the new drone that I got, well, it's not new, second-hand, but I flew that for the first time. That was an experience.
What drone is it, Dave?
It's a Mavic Pro 2 that I bought off of Mikey Swales. And fair dues to him, he said it was in good nick and it was a bargain price. We did the deal when we were up in the lakes.
All right.
So I thought, oh, great. So I put it up. And what I found out was that unlike the little DJI Mini that zips around like a fighter jet, this big Mavic thing, it's like flying a jumbo jet. You pull the sticks over and nothing happens. It's really slow and laborious. But on the other plus side, and the reason I decided to change drones, was I put it up in a howling gale, and the Mini would have blown into the sea.
Yeah.
So swings and roundabouts.
I was going to say on a positive note, if you put a Mini up and it moves around quickly, you've got a lot more chance of crashing it into the side of a wall. Whereas if you've got one of those great big things, you've probably got less. So
especially if you're in a Welsh gorge.
Exactly. And I get what you're saying about vlogging with friends and finding it difficult. So if you remember, Dave, when I was out with you, and actually when I was out with you, Darren, as well, at the lakes, I didn't do any vlogging at all. I saved it till I was with someone who I didn't really get on that well with.
I'll tell
So
you what,
come on
though,
then. Sorry, go on, Jay. Go on.
No, I'll tell you what. It's actually quite a good subject to talk about this, isn't it? Because I know, Gary, you've sort of made a few decisions on your sort of vlogging career, and I'm with you, Dave. I think in terms of the whole getting fed up of the stereotypical B-roll that we're doing. You know, like walk into this and introducing the shot and the rest of it, and like. I'm actually getting fed up of watching others do it as well, if I'm being totally honest. And I think that you've got to the point where, you know, we've all been doing it for quite some time now. You know, you guys slightly longer than me. But you start to get to a point where you think, what's it all about? You know, I'm actually enjoying the photography, and I do enjoy making videos, and I do enjoy editing them. I've said that so many times before and pulling them together. But, you know, actually forcing yourself to create that story of the walk to the place and the setup of the camera and the rest of it, it starts to get a bit mind-numbing after a time. And what you want to do is just focus on the photography. And as you've done there, Dave, you've created something out of focusing on the photography, taking it into the editing suite, telling the story about it. And sometimes that's exactly what people want to see, rather than, you know, just the whole walk and talk and B-roll and crap like that. So I'm seriously considering sort of changing my way as well. I'm not considering stopping vlogging, but just changing the way I put the content together, really, and just have it focused on specific things that I think will add value to the people that watch, but also will add value to me, because it creates a little bit of something for me to think about while I'm out, and then putting it together in the editing suite just brings it together as something that's just worthwhile doing. You know, I think that's the point. I think I'm getting fed up doing things that aren't worthwhile in my mind, and I'd rather just focus on the photography and stuff I'm getting a lot out of.
I thought there was a really telling bit of footage that I saw within the last couple of weeks when Adam Gibbs was over in Scotland. And in one of his videos, he was taking the piss out of Thomas Heaton, sort of, because he wrapped it up in, oh, look at this, look at Tom's dedication to his video work. It took him about 20 minutes to film a sequence that probably ended up as 7 seconds in his video, where he positioned a camera, got in his van, drove it 3 meters, got out, moved the camera, drove it another few meters. And I just thought, you know, it's fair enough to Tom. It's his living, and he's obviously got the time and space to do that sort of thing. But it's not mine. And the thought of all that, putting it together like a little film, it was never going to be that way. And I have tried it, you know, to the extent that I started using a bigger camera with an ND filter on it so that I could get my shutter speed just right. And then I bought a big gimbal. And I thought, yeah, I'll make proper films. I'll be like Simon Byrne. And I'm just not. A, they were rubbish, and B, I didn't enjoy the process. So I've really gone back to literally just sort of holding a little Pocket 2, and that's about it, really. I take another tripod and park it on it and do a piece to camera, but it's now a really minor part of going out and taking stills. And I've really enjoyed it. And I've been out 4 or 5 times now and got some images that I'm much happier with. And it's taken me 5 minutes to do the video work. Don't have to think about it, because I have no trouble deciding what to say to the camera. That bit's easy. Bit of B-roll, literally just, you know, wave the pocket around. Look, this is where I am. And then that's it. Job done.
But I think you made a good point. I think, you know, the likes of Tom and Adam and people like that, they rely on the YouTube revenue for their business. You know, it's especially when we go through times with COVID where they can't actually do their work. They rely on the revenue. So not knocking that at all. And the effort that Tom goes into particularly is well rewarded, because his content is brilliant. You know, I always watch Thomas's videos, and, you know, you can tell the effort he's gone into, and you respect it. As a vlogger, you respect what he has to do to create that type of content. And fair play to him, you know, and I'd never knock anybody doing that. And I think that's the differential between people like that and people probably like us that are just doing it for a hobby, just for something to keep us happy. And that's where you need to make the decision on how much effort you want to put into it versus the reward you're going to get back. I think that's where my head is. But Gary, you've made a bit of a decision, haven't you, on your career?
Yeah, I have. I've decided to stop vlogging. Part of the reason is exactly what you said. It's incredibly formulaic now. Pretty much, I'm really struggling to think of one vlogger that I watch now that does something different from drive up somewhere, get out the car, walk past the camera, go off, take a photo, talk about it, take another photo, talk about it, do a little bit of drone work, do a little bit of B-roll, talk about it, show some pictures, end of story. And that's part of it. The other part of it is that for me, I tried to do something different. So I tried to do something more interesting or less formulaic, and it's so much hard work for a start. It's really difficult. Like these last few that I did as sort of mockumentaries is an incredible amount of work that I just was putting in. And I don't know, I think the biggest part for me that why I've sort of decided to knock it on the head is I just look at it now and I just think that it's not the place that I joined. Like there's an awful lot of people now who are really, and I don't think everyone sees it. I honestly don't, and that's fine. I don't think everyone understands why I get angry at it, and that's fine. But I'm really cynical now, and I see so much advertising and sucking up and meeting up with people to boost your own numbers, and that's fine, you know. And I look, you know, you're talking about Thomas Heaton and Adam Gibbs and, you know, First Man Photography and all of those guys, and they're all landscape photographers, but they're all professionals and they've all got to do it for whatever reason. But their photography is number one, right? I would say out there, I look at a lot of guys now who are trying to make money out of it, trying to rinse their viewers out of whatever, trying to boost their own whatevers, their own popularity by bumping into someone. Oh, look at him, bumped into this guy by accident. Let's talk to him for 2 minutes to give myself some more views. Their photography is not the main reason they do it now, when it's really obvious because their photography isn't improving and isn't very good. And I understand that people say, well, why do you care? Why are you bothered? I am bothered. It makes me feel like I don't ever want anybody to ever think the way that I think about some vloggers, about me. And so I'd rather step off the platform and go out and take photographs and enjoy myself and let the photograph be the most important thing than to pretend the photograph's the most important thing while trying to get in as much money as I can. And all these are really sad.
So are you going to keep sharing your photos?
Yeah.
But then if you're not on social, I know you're not coming over social media, but like YouTube, for argument's sake, then there's a lot of people that don't follow you on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So you've got to obviously be prepared, and I'm sure you are, for only like a fraction of the people to actually see.
That's fine.
Your photo, which absolutely is fine. But when you were saying about old people bumping into each other and stuff, I mean, surely that's almost like the name of the game. It's almost like networking. The more people that you know, the more people that you get exposure to, the more people see your work.
Depends why you're playing the game, though.
Does it have to be a game?
No, but you're saying it's the name of the game, and I'm saying, yes, it is the name of the game, but it depends why you're playing the game. If you're playing the game because you want more people to see your photography, then that's fine, yeah? I don't mind. Or if you're playing the game because you want to help other people to have their photography shown, that's fine. But if you're playing the game because all you're bothered about is to get a workshop out of it, or get someone to buy your NFT, or to have someone go, oh, what an amazing bloke he is hanging about. Oh, look, he's really cool because he's interviewed so-and-so. Then that, for me, is not the game I want to play or be involved in. And if they want to play it, all fair play to them, that's fine. But when I watch someone do that, put out 40 million vlogs in a week, or clearly shoot up in subscriber numbers, right? There's people out there. There's people out there on YouTube whose subscriber numbers have gone through the roof and their views haven't changed, right? What does that say to me? That says to me they're buying subscribers. I don't want to be involved in a community that does that.
Yeah, but there's lots of people that don't do that. you might be talking about
there are
a tiny percent that you obviously have an issue with. I mean, I don't particularly have an issue with anyone getting together, and but I think it's a shame that you've let it get to you that much. If this is the real reason, and I'm not saying I doubt you, but if this is the real reason that you're stopping, then I think that's a real shame, really, that you're letting such a tiny percentage of people affect you that way.
I don't think it's a tiny percentage anymore.
It must be though, Gal, that you've fallen out of. I'm not saying, well, one, either fallen out of love with vlogging, or it's naturally run a course for you. No, absolutely not. Because when you commented that, I didn't want to say anything till I spoke to you, because I didn't want you to think that I was arguing or whatever. But absolutely not. And I actually think I will go out and still make videos, but I'll just never publish them, because I love making videos. I love being creative. I love the whole process, right? But what I don't want is like, it's not a small percentage. You say it's a small percentage. It's not a small percentage. Yeah, but are you doing the things that you dislike?
No.
Why stop doing something that you like? It just doesn't make sense.
Because I don't want to be involved in a community.
But you're not involved.
That does that. Well, I am involved, because I'm putting out videos on a platform that's allowing other people to do the things that I really dislike. The thing for me
but you're on Twitter.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so you're on Twitter. Think about all the racist views that you hear on Twitter. Does that make you a racist?
I'm not posting a racist view.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I am posting.
He walked straight into that.
And you're not doing the things on YouTube that you're saying other people are doing.
No, but I'm still posting a photography video, right? And this is the thing, right? This is the thing. I watch people on these photography videos, a lot of people doing things that I know they're not doing with any other intention than to get famous or to get numbers or to get money. And they wrap it up in some... There's one guy, right? There's one guy, I'm not going to say who he is. There's one guy on there who makes out that he's the oracle on photography.
James Burns.
Sits there... No, not James Burns. Okay. He sits there in his room and spouts out all these expressive long words.
That's Paul Johnson.
Blah, blah, blah.
Shall I stop doing that?
No, it's not you. It's not you. Photography is all about the art of the seeing of the blah blah blah, and when you're doing this you need to do this, and and I just love it for all of that, and I'm the oracle, come to me. And then on his Twitter account he's got ETH after his name, GM, buy my shit. It's all a load of rubbish. He says these things, people say these things, and they do these things that they try to make out is for the good of the community, and it's just for the good of themselves. And if it happens to do something beneficial to the community, then that's in spite of their intentions, not because of their intentions. And it's becoming a larger number on YouTube of people who are doing it. And I think the thing is, I never ever want anybody to sit there and think Gary's only doing that because he wants the views, because I never will. I will never do anything. I would never do anything like that. So,
but I think realistically, mate, anybody that watches you and your stuff knows perfectly well where you're coming from. Nobody's going to mistake you for one of these people that you've just described. And, you saw what I had to say about it.
I did.
And it strikes me that you're letting the buggers win. You're letting the buggers grind you down. And if you, as you said, you enjoy it, perhaps maybe some middle ground. If you don't want to participate in that particular platform, put your videos on Vimeo or publish them on your website. But don't, because there's a whole bunch of people, who like to tune in and see what you're doing. I was looking at YouTube the other day, and in my recommendations, I got recommended episode 2 of Norman's Wisdom. And I thought, I've seen that, but I don't care. I'll tune in again. And I really enjoyed it. I think that whilst it is difficult finding new and interesting angles to come at it, the mockumentaries that you did, and I was there, I saw the reams of notes that you'd made to achieve that. And it was really well received, and it was really worth it. And I think that, You're leaving a bit of a hole behind if you don't, by all means take a break. By all means put 3 videos a year out. But don't just turn around and say, right, that's me done. Mic drop, I'm out.
We all know Gary well enough to know that by Easter, at the absolute latest, he's going to be back vlogging it. In fact, I'll wager a bag of sprouts on the fact that you will be vlogging again by Valentine's Day.
I'll raise you a case of purple mousse.
Listen. The thing is I know myself, and I sat and waited I've got 3 vlogs right now that are sat, unedited, undone, not finished, that I could, in fact 4, there'll be 4, that I could put out. But I waited for those 6 weeks that in between just to see if it was just me, because sometimes I do things, and I still feel the same way, which is why I posted when I posted what I posted, because I've had a few people say, oh, where are you, what's going on? So I decided to just let people know that that's what's what. Now, I'm not saying that I will never come back to vlogging, because I might do, but if I do, the problem is, I tell you what the problem is. The reason I stopped, right, is because I knew that if I carried on putting out vlogs, I was going to put one out that was going to name people. I could just feel it. I was going to name several people, and I was going to get myself into a load of shit like I did last time, and people were going to hate on me. But I can't help myself, because that's how I feel. So I said I'm stepping away from it for now, for a period, indefinite period, because I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to be associated. I don't want to be associated with these people. Somebody like, and I feel really bad because I don't even know if he realises what he's doing, but somebody commented on my post to say, oh, really sad to see you go. And I'm like, what the fuckers, who does it? And I wanted to say to him, you're one of the reasons I've stopped doing it. Don't say you're sorry. Stop doing what you're doing and trying to sell your shit. But
Make
I didn't.
a video about them.
I don't
but don't publish it.
Yeah, but I'm not convinced they're doing anything wrong. I'm really not.
I know you're not, and I appreciate your view, and I agree with you. I agree with you that in the eyes of most of the people who watch YouTube, they don't care, and they see it as part of the game, and they say they're not doing anything wrong. But for me, the point of making these videos was twofold, right? One was to have a reason to go out, to take photographs, right? Which is the primary reason why landscape photographers should be vlogging, if they're vlogging, is to showcase their photography and talk about how they got their photography, right? And the second one, after a while, became for me to try and help people who have less subscribers than me and less viewers than me, and shine a light on them and to inspire them to go and do something, which I think that I might have done. But these other guys who I have the issue with, and a lot of people don't care, but it's almost flying in the face of everything that I care about, because they don't care about their photography. They clearly don't care about their photography because it's not improving and it's not very good in a lot of senses. And I would say to them, if you're watching, have a think about the reason you go out. Why do you go out and do a vlog? Do you go out and do a vlog because you're excited about the photograph you're going to get or potential? Or do you go out and do it because you think, I need to put some more numbers on, I need to get some more views, I need to get some more subscribers, I'm going to drive all the way up to somewhere to meet someone? You're not driving all the way up there to meet them for the photograph. You're driving all the way up there to meet them to get some more exposure on your channel. And that for me is wrong. And I know a lot of people say, well, I know, Darren, you disagree with me. And I get it. I do get why you disagree with me, but you won't change me. I'm a purist, and that's how I feel. That's just how I feel. Shall we talk about something else?
If there was ever a question that somebody asked that you just knew the type of response it would get and the content that was created, that is exactly why I asked the question. How are you doing, Gary? Are you giving up your vlogging?
I didn't really want to talk about it, if I'm honest. Clearly, because you can see.
You had to, because that's why you who you are.
Yeah.
Because you are so passionate about it, and you don't care what anybody thinks. And it's good between the 4 of us or the 6 of us, because we'll all have a different view, and then the next week we'll just move on to a different topic. You know what I mean? No one gets kind of upset or anything. So
No,
I think
I
think
agree.
I think it's great, mate, that you. I think it's a shame that you're stopping, but I think it's great that you have these, little moments.
I think it's good that you've got the principles, Gary. To be fair, you stand by your principles, and that's something to be respected, really. And that's what you're about as an individual.
Right, I'm going for a wee.
Okay. Oh, by the way, keep an eye out for my Valentine's Day vlog. It's going to be a good one this year. So let's move on now. Enough about me, because I really didn't want to do that anyway. Let's talk about something that we've got planned, which is our favourite videos of the year. Not our own videos, of course, but our favourite videos that we've watched from someone else during this year. And let's go to Darren first. So what have you got for us, Darren?
Right, let me share my screen first of all. Right, so after, obviously, you wasn't particularly happy a little while ago, Gal, and I can kind of understand where you're coming from, because you don't think certain people are genuine. But I want to restore your faith in YouTube. And does any of you subscribe to Hayes Outdoors?
No.
Nope.
Right, okay. I just urge you, I've known about this guy for about a year, and I don't think I've ever really spoke about him. But he is the most genuine and the most likable person on YouTube. There is no frills, there's no BS, and his personality is, when someone is just like so genuine, and what you see is what you get. And if you start watching this guy's channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, this is a part of him where him and his best mate, Joey D. Joey D's filming him, but Hazy is doing the 3 Peak Challenge, but he's doing it barefooted for a mental health charity.
I real talk don't think I'm going to be able to do 3 peaks, I don't think. I'm going to do everything in my power to get to the top of this one without tapping out, and then put shoes back on to run back down, get to Scarfield, see how we feel. But the only thing I'm going to try and do is do Ben Nevis barefoot. I'll try and do that to make your donations worth it. How are you feeling, Joseph?
So far, it's all right. Don't want to jinx it, mate.
Don't want to jinx it, but so far, all right. There's still a way to go, so just going to neck a couple of ibuprofen, have some water, and then we'll crack on. Deployed Joey's staffs to take a bit of pressure off the feet, and it's helping with balance a little bit. But still, whew, it hurts, lads and lasses. Make no mistake about it. Off the back of how painful and hard this is, everyone, can I just do this? Are we having this as just, can I just do the highest mountain in the UK barefoot, and he's doing it and I've done it, if I get to the top? Because I can't do all 3, guys. It's been too soon after Cape Wrath, and it's knacking feet up. I've bitten off more than I can chew, and it's not, I'm not afraid to admit defeat. I don't like admitting defeat, but a good friend of mine said it might do me well to admit defeat once, you know what I mean? Like, just finally just accept defeat, mate. Accept these feet aren't quitting. Yeah?
This guy, he just loves, he hikes continuously. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
I'm back on. Yeah, he hikes continuously, wild camps all the time. And yeah,
I hope he raised £1 million off that, because he deserves it.
He really does. And I tell you, once you start watching his channel and you realise kind of what a genuine and likeable and funny as hell bloke he is, he's just like so binge worthy. He really is. You just want to play the next one and the next one. And sometimes when you're talking about formulaic, you're thinking, right, okay, we've got to set the camera up here for this B-roll. Sometimes it's just 20 minutes of him in a tent talking to a can of beer, and talking to you about kind of like he's blisters on his feet, but he's just one of a kind.
I've got to say that is the type of channel I know I would binge. So
You would?
If you send the link, I'll stick it in the description, but I'm going to go watch some of that myself. And it's really weird because when I talk to you in a minute about my favourite video, you'll see it's very similar as it happens. So
is that going to motivate you to go up a fell barefoot, Gary?
No.
I bet motivate you to go up a fell.
Listen, I'm all up for going up fells and taking photos. That's never going to stop me. So he looks like a nutter. His mate Joe, brilliant. He looked like he was stoned.
Yeah, I think they are, because what they did, their early videos. I mean, Joe's not in it that often, but he was in the early days. But I think they used to go to the woods, and their early videos was going into the woods with a beer can and a catapult, and literally just kind of firing rocks at beer cans.
Squirrels.
So, and I think I'm probably, I don't want to say, but probably stoned off their head on a couple of spliffs and just having fun, just mates having fun.
I must admit, I can see the benefit of having a nut job sidekick. Yeah. I wouldn't mind. That'd be a good angle for my channel because I'm all Mr. Serious.
There's plenty out there.
I just had a nutter. If any nutters would like to sign up to come on all of my videos and be a regular.
That's really dangerous, Dave. That is asking our viewers if there's any nutters out there.
No, but they'd have to audition.
They're just going to be literally.
I only want a premium nutter.
No, that's good though. I've got to say that's right up my street.
Yeah, good recommendation.
I'll take just one thing in case you kind of miss this. He's, I hate to say kind of catchphrase, right? But when he's walking, he'll see a dead animal or something like that. He just shouts out, "Medic!" Right? Now, he has actually put this out on social media and on his YouTube channel. And he means it. If he ever dies whilst walking and he falls off a fell and he's there all kind of mangled up, completely dead, and somebody finds him, he actually wants them to film him, but then shout out the word medic and then share it on social media.
Okay.
I'm sure his family will love that.
Yeah. Or someone else's family when you get the wrong person.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Dave, what have you got for us, mate?
All right, okay. Share screen time. I sort of have a criteria for stuff that I'll watch on YouTube. And I think pretty much like Darren, my sort of first criteria, is it somebody interesting? Have they got a personality? That's usually the first thing. Then it's, do they do something relatively interesting and slightly different? And then can I learn anything from it? Because I tend not to watch a lot of YouTube. I just don't have time. So I'm always looking for stuff that I can learn from. So my favourite video so far this year, and it was actually a very easy pick because I put it on social media when I first saw it back in March. And it's a really, really nice, engaging guy, Paul Hammett, who's based in Switzerland. Yeah. And, he wild camps at 2,800 metres, one of his videos is. And I sort of think, blimey, that's literally 3 times higher than I usually wild camp at. So I really like his stuff. He's a very nice, engaging guy, but he's also a really good photographer. And when you see his photography on social media, it really stands out. And yet he's only got just over 500 subscribers. It makes no sense to me. I'm assuming that nobody has found him yet. He literally hasn't been spotted, because one day some people are going to spot him and go, blimmin' heck, and they're all going to share his links. This particular video, sort of a pro shoot. He's out, he's roped to an ice face with full frame gear, photographing guys that are ice climbing. Now, that's not something you can pose. He's kind of stuck with what he gets, and yet his photography that he gets out of it is rather good. I'll just play you a very short clip.
pack. Cindy's climbing up behind me, got the camera, and I want to have it away from the ice, looking straight down on him. So I can't lean out far enough. I put the camera onto the monopod for the remote trigger, so I can hold the camera out away from the ice and look straight down at Cindy while he's climbing up. Yeah, he's sharp.
I really enjoyed this video, and I am more than happy to shout out Paul, because his photography is really good as well. You know, sometimes you get an engaging personality or does interesting videos, but the photography is a bit ho-hum. You get the full package with this channel. Totally recommended.
Well done, Dave. Good recommendation. I'll check that out.
Win one of Mally's competitions once, if I remember rightly, for that lightning shot over one of the Swiss Alps. It was a fantastic shot, and he won that. And I think there was a few people that sort of tried to say it wasn't real, and then obviously it clearly was. And Paul said, "Look, I'm based here in the Swiss Alps," and it was the shot as it was.
Yeah, so, and to be fair to Paul, his response to it was really phlegmatic. He didn't sort of jump up and down and say, "How very dare you?" Yeah. He just quietly sort of proved his point, and the people that made a fuss had to slink away with their tails between their legs. No apologies, though, I noticed. Nobody wrote in and said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, actually it's a shot in a million, well done you." Because, I mean, let's be fair, nobody spotted the fact that I photoshopped a load of zigzaggy waves in front of the church in the sea.
Funnily enough, Paul is one of the guys that I featured on my... do you remember I did that thing called You're in Focus for a couple of episodes? I featured him on that, which explains why he's only got a few subscribers.
But it makes no sense to me. I mean,
me.
I'm sorry, but, I've got quite a few people that follow my channel. If I said, and I might well actually, instead of doing a roundup of the year, which tends to happen about this time of year, I might just say, look, here's 5 people you need to watch, and if you don't, you can unsubscribe from me as well, because I sort of think about the stuff that I do. It's nowhere near as good as his, so why are you subscribed to me and not him?
Do you know what I think? What I think his problem is, and it's purely location. I just think people don't tend to watch people in Europe. I don't know why. They'll watch people from Canada and they'll watch people from the UK, but they just generally tend to not. There's another guy called Ralph Goldsmith who does a lot of photography from Spain, and he suffers, I think, similarly. People I did a Lanzarote series. I loved it out there. I love the photography, but it was the worst performing stuff on my channel because I just think people are not that interested in photography from Europe. I have no idea why, but Paul's brilliant. His photography's brilliant, and he's a really engaging vlogger as well. Really engaging.
Genuinely nice guy. And I think that if you're sufficiently short-sighted that to say, oh well, I'm not going to watch him because he's in the Swiss Alps, you're missing out on some fantastic imagery, but also a guy who really knows what he's doing. You can learn, like I said in my preamble, I watch people that I can learn from. And so, I in a million years wouldn't say, oh no, he can't teach me anything just because he happens to be halfway up the fecking Matterhorn.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. He's a great guy. What you got then, Jamie?
Right, so yes, I've been through my watch list of 2021 because that was the only way I could try and find which was the one that stood out to me. And I'm probably one of these people that you've just called out that doesn't tend to watch anything outside of the UK. So my selection is going to be a UK landscape photography vlog, actually. But it's one that really stood out to me, and it's a guy that we've mentioned before on the podcast. He had a period of isolation with lockdown because he lives in a camper van. And he had a period of isolation and he spent 15 months in lockdown. And when he could eventually get out, he went to the Isle of Harris and he recorded a vlog back in July. And the vlog that he recorded, I just thought was brilliant. He'd put so much effort into it, and I'll mention it in a minute who it is, and you probably know already. But he started the vlog with a sort of Papillion sketch where he'd filmed himself in a jail, and he overlaid the movie of him sort of spending 15 months in jail. And looking outside the broken glass of the window to say, is it time to come out yet? Can I come out yet?
Is that a film about a dad on a bike?
Don't know, is it? No.
Okay.
What?
Well, it's the way you pronounced it. You said Papillion. I just thought it's
Oh,
right,
gotcha.
Because I think I don't want to correct you, but I think the pronunciation is Papillon. Papillon.
Well, it's the Finnish public. The way you say it, Gary. Sorry.
Can we edit some tumbleweed in there?
You just killed the climax. Jay was just getting built up then to announce Nev Gartledge.
And this year's winner is tumbleweed.
You made it worse.
Time, don't you? Do it every word. Do it every time.
I didn't know the cheeky girls had gone to the Isle of Harris.
Oh, don't you got me the cheeky girls.
Sorry.
Can I carry on?
Yeah, please do.
Well, you know who it is. So, yeah, it's Nev Cartledge. He released a vlog on the 8th of July called Landscape Photography on the Spectacular Isle of Harris.
I want to see the warden. That's 30 days more, pimp killer. I'm still here, you bastards.
Is it over?
Your term is completed.
And not just the vlog, his photography, his comedy, the way he pulls things together, I just think are brilliant. And, I know he doesn't release many vlogs in the year, but when he does, they're always corkers. And that one particularly to me stood out over the year as one that I thought, fair play to you. If you've put a lot of effort, you've created some fantastic photography, as he always does. And you pull something out the bag that is a piece of content that's brilliant. So, that was my selection for the year.
Now, I don't know if anybody's heard, actually, because the last time I heard anything from Nev, he was talking that his motorhome could be terminally ill. And I don't know what the outcome of that was. That was, I think, perhaps, I'm guessing now, a couple of weeks ago, perhaps 3 weeks ago. He was waiting for the outcome, but that will be a real shame. That'll be a massive blow if that camper van is just not worth, or he can't afford to get it back on the road. But I've not heard anything since. I don't know if you guys have you?
No, not since that. No. It must be a nightmare, though. I mean, when you think about it, it's equivalent of one of us going, "Oh yeah, my house is going to have to go to a scrapyard." Yeah. I mean, what do you do? I hope he's okay, because nicest guy in the world.
Yeah,
I've never met him. He strikes me as a lovely guy, and I think that if you took away that sort of freedom that the camper van gives him, I think he would lose something from his appeal and his channel. That if he lost that, because that's part of the charm of the guy. isn't it? The fact that he can just roam wherever he wants to and do
Yeah.
whatever. But he always strikes me as a really nice, genuine bloke.
Yeah.
It's a really good shout, Jamie. I must admit, close second to the one that I picked, because that one he did from Harris was particularly good.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where he filmed himself losing his mobile phone in the sea, and it was one of those moments where if you saw it while you were watching, you're thinking, Nev, you've dropped your phone. You're shouting at the screen, and then of course he replays it back and shows you the still where it fell out of his pocket into the sea. So yeah, brilliant, really good.
What's yours, Gary?
Thanks for asking. It hasn't taken me that long to find it, but actually I was really struggling. Because as we were saying, there's an awful lot of formulaic videos out there at the moment in landscape photography. And then I decided to have a think about the stuff that I watch that isn't landscape photography. And there's this one guy that I always enjoyed watching. Probably, I don't know how I found his stuff. It was about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago. And his name is, or the name of his channel is called GeoGuessr. Have any of you heard of him?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Right. So he does these, most of his stuff is there's a game called GeoGuessr. And he's like, can I work out where I am from looking at a picture type thing? And that's really boring, to be honest. But no offense. But this stuff that he does is really good. So he did this one thing about 1.5 years ago, which was trying to get from somewhere in the UK to somewhere in like southern Greece without paying for any transport at all. So either by walking or jumping onto trains or like borrowing, hitchhiking and all of that, and he went with his mate, and that was really interesting. But he did this series a little while before that, which was called Going in a Straight Line Across Wales.
Oh, I have seen this guy.
Yeah. So
I have seen this guy.
Yeah, so to go in a straight line across the whole of Wales. Well, this one was where he did a straight line across the whole of Scotland.
Yeah.
And I won't spoil it for you. Well, actually, I will spoil it for you. He didn't make it.
That was definitely supposed to be the final clip of the day. But here's the killer, ladies and gents. Our ordeal was far from over. Roughly 1.5 hours after our encounter with the farmer, our senses were alerted again. This time, instead of the abrupt onslaught of an engine and headlights, it was faint men's voices and what looked like handheld torchlight making its way slowly but surely up the same path as the farmer's wife had used.
2 people. 2 people over there. What are they doing up here at this time? Are they coming?
At the time, we really weren't sure who it could be. Did the farmer have a change of heart and send 2 blokes up to remove us? Or was it just locals on a nighttime trek? Both seemed unlikely, but whoever they were, they had spotted our fire.
They are. Okay, they're coming down.
The men were now heading straight for us, but it wasn't until they were about 10 metres away that we realised who it was. And it was probably the worst outcome possible.
Policeman. Oh. Hi.
Hi, how you doing? You okay?
We've spoke to the farmer.
Yep, he's still phoned us though.
Ah, right, okay.
Why are you guys here?
I'll cut to the chase. We are attempting to cross Scotland in a completely straight line.
Right, okay.
To be the first people to ever do that.
Sort of Guinness World Record attempt.
Yeah,
basically.
I have a YouTube channel. I've walked. I'll stand up. I've walked across Wales in a straight line, and Norway. I know it's a bit of a mad idea.
Well, given it's a lockdown in Scotland just now, it's not just mad; it's illegal.
Yeah.
So where you came from?
Where are we from?
Yeah.
I'm from Birmingham.
I'm from Wales.
Wales.
Okay, so again, we go back to this is illegal.
Yeah.
When I was going through my watch list, I found exactly the same series of 3, and I was going to call them out, and then I stumbled across Nevs and thought, no, I'll go Nevs. But yeah, you're right. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, he's so good, and this series was good. But the one, I think my favourite one was the one he did with his mate when he went, because he's tried to go across Wales twice, and he's failed twice because one time because he didn't quite make it. I can't remember, something happened. He injured himself. I think he injured his hand or injured his foot or something. Yeah. And then the second time he went with his mate, and his mate was ill, and it turns out he had some chronic condition that they didn't realise, and he had to be rescued. Then they did the one. Then he did across the straight line across Norway.
That's right.
Which he managed to do. But this one was a straight line across Scotland, and it was some of the stuff was like, wow, he's really risky. Like going through literally going through a working factory, like to walk through it. But they got to a point where they camped out, and the farmer saw them camping, and he called the police, and they weren't. They were right in the middle of lockdown, and I think he went just before they announced it, if I remember rightly. I can't quite remember. But but that's brilliant, and I like his humour, and I like the way he is with people, and I really enjoy watching that. So that's my one of the year. I couldn't find a landscape photography one that I really, really went, that sort of made me go, wow, that's really good this year. So
right, that's it then. The four of us.
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah, maybe if you want to put in the comments what your favourite video was this year. And we can we might stumble across some we haven't had a look at before.
As long as it was one of ours.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, or but you can't put the real papillon in. Papillion. Because that's a film about a man on a motorbike. So, seeing as Darren's dropping off to sleep, what we'll do is we'll have one of the subjects that you chose, Darren, that will keep you interested, which was winter locations. So, what's your favourite winter and I think you specified not like the Lake District, somewhere more specific. What's a favourite winter location of yours where you can go out and get some really nice photos? So if you want to start, Darren.
So when I said not the Lake District, I didn't mean
no, you didn't mean not the Lake District. You meant not the whole
I didn't
area.
mean I'll just pick the Lake District National Park. It was almost, So, is there a particular? And the reason I asked that is because obviously I was meant to be going to the lakes in a week's time, so I was hoping that someone would come up with a particular fell, that would be really interesting for me.
So you basically thought up the whole subject just so you could get some ideas for where to go.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. I was just after some plagiarism, but coming in through the back door, really.
Oh, okay. That's funny because next week I've got a subject which is: does anyone know any really good chippies in Bedfordshire?
No, I did actually put. I did actually put this out on Twitter after I asked it on our little group. And it was I think Mikey Swales come up with a lot of stuff, and so did James Bells, and obviously James Burns. And, so it was just I did put that out there. But when I thought about that, for me, see, I can't ever remember in this country going to one particular winter location and just thinking I must return to this exact spot, kind of next year or whenever the conditions are right. The only place I ever remember doing that was actually in Norway, when I was in Senja. And I think it's called, it comes under two names, it's either the Devil's Jaw or the Devil's Teeth, I believe. It depends, if you Google it, they both come up with the same kind of mountain range. And Helen didn't come out with me that day. And I kind of drove to this location, and you drive through these these caves, these tunnels that kind of are carved through the mountains. So the drive there was absolutely beautiful. But when I was there, I was kind of quite conscious that obviously we are on holiday, and I just didn't want to turn, especially in a place like that, I didn't want to turn this into purely kind of photographic. So I didn't spend an awful lot of time there. But then when I got home and I looked at the pictures, it was one of these places where I just thought, I would just love to return to that location in the winter and just dedicate, like a whole week of nothing but photography in that very small radius of like the Devil's Jaw in Senja. So I know that I'm kind of pushing the boundary a little bit, as a lot of people think, well, I'll never end up going there. But for me, that's one location where I think that if anybody ever went there, from a landscape photographer's point of view, you would want to return. If you didn't quite get the shots that you want, you would think, right, I need to go back there at some stage and try and get the shot that I was after.
I think the problem three of us have is that there are periods of time, there are probably a number of winters where we might not have any snow at all to make the conditions wintry enough where in our vicinity. So Dave, you've obviously got Snowdonia, so I'd imagine that some of the peaks have snow on most of the winter. And if you went to somewhere like Scotland, say like the, you know where I mean, Scotland place, yeah, Glenteith. What's it called? What's that place called? You know, the one that everyone takes photos of.
Buckle.
No, the actual place, the actual Glencoe.
Glencoe.
Yes, if you went to Glencoe, you guaranteed Scotland. You guaranteed snow for most of the winter, and like Snowdonia. But I couldn't think of anywhere that I've been to that I could say, well, I know if you go there at this time of year, you're going to get snow and you get the wintry conditions that you want. So it's a difficult one for me. That is.
Yeah.
Can't help you.
Yeah.
St Lumsdale Falls. I went to Lumsdale. I didn't go to Lumsdale Falls. I saw a video once from Lumsdale Falls when it was all iced up, and that looked really good. That looked like that could be a really good shot with all the icicles and what have you. But other than that, and Senya apparently is a place. Devil's Jaw, I think it is.
Devil's Jaw, or the Devil's Teeth.
Or the Devil's Teeth is one of the two. It's a mountain range.
That's I think that we should organise. You know, once this horrible pandemic's over, we should do a really nice outing, whether that be somewhere like kind of, you know, Norway or Iceland or something, you know, where the 4, 5 or 6 of us, you know, just kind of us lads, nothing in common, but kind of like just purely photography. I reckon we'd have an absolute blast. I really do, and I think it'd be kind of a holiday that we'd always remember for the rest of our lives.
Do you think we could run it as a workshop so the participants could pay for our trip? Just wondering.
What you need is a YouTube channel where you plug that sort of thing.
Oh, damn it!
The thing is, though, I mean, you talk about Snowdonia as a winter location, and you're right. Obviously, you get more snow at elevation. The problem that I have is that the locations that work brilliantly in the snow and ice, the really craggy, rocky bits, Castle of the Winds, summit of Glidavour, where you've got all these rocks that stick up and they sort of emerge from the snow. The difficulty with that is that it's almost impossible to find yourself there and the snow isn't absolutely full of footprints, because there will still be hikers there at all times. So if I'm going out in those sort of conditions, and fingers crossed we get some of those, we had some fabulous conditions last year and I was stuck in the house due to the virus. But I have to really then sort of mine my database of sneaky little places to go where other people don't, for that reason. And there's a few spots where that sort of thing works and where people tend not to hang around because there are fewer walkers in the hills in those conditions. They do tend to head to some specific locations. There's one in particular where Nick Livesey took a photograph one January as the sun was going down over the Clean, and the image was on the wall in his little gallery at Café Chabod for quite a while, and it was a fabulous image. To this day, I wish to God I'd bought it, because I didn't, and I regret it, because I'd have no trouble replacing that with it in a heartbeat, and because the mountain top is a really sharp ridge and lots of really jagged rocks sticking up out of it. They're all sort of glaciated rocks, so they've been split by frost. They're sharp edges. And when there's snow around them and you've got a leading line down to the sunset, brilliant. And you know, I know what time of day it was taken. I could see what the conditions were like. I remember saying to him, it must have been a nightmare hiking down, because they'd been in the dark, and it was treacherous, really treacherous. He just, oh no trouble at all, he said, lying git. But that for me is, I'm going to go. The thing is, he was up with a mate, and his mate was in the shot at the edge of the ridge, looking down towards the sunset. I haven't got any mates, although perhaps I can get my channel nutter to come with me.
Yes.
But that would be that, and there's a few other little sneaky little locations, but it is all about avoiding the snow, being trampled to buggery, because all of the honeypot locations still attract the winter walkers. But the advantage is there are far fewer people above the snow line, and there are more sneaky little spots you can get to. And one, you'd know, Darren, Cumcleed on the way up to Agarn. You go up through Cumidwell. You remember when you did that circular walk with Helen in the summer? So there's Cumcleed, that little hanging valley with a couple of tiny little lakes in it.
Yeah.
There's some really sticky up rocks, and you get the Ogwyn Valley in the background, and Cumidwell and Travan. Not many people go up there when it's really icy, because the climb up is, you've got to have spikes. You'd be a nutter to attempt it without them.
Dave, do you mean Trifan?
That's the one, yeah. Did I pronounce it incorrectly?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
There was some guy on YouTube who kept correcting people. The other thing that really pisses me off is people that think Cumidwell is the Devil's Kitchen because it's got a sexy name. The Devil's Kitchen is just a little crack in the rock, and the path doesn't even go through it. You bypass it. So, just thought I'd throw that in. Feel free to edit it out.
No, you're fine. I'll keep that in for posterity. Yes. So basically you're saying there's lots of places in Wales, in Snowdonia, but you're not going to tell anyone because they'll get busy.
No, but should anybody want to engage me for guiding purposes at an extremely competitive rate?
Another reason for quitting. This will be my last pubcast.
Yeah, but it would be free to you, Gary, because you're a mate. You're welcome to hike up to about 1,000 metres with me anytime you like.
Do I have to wear shoes?
Only if you can wear them without if you're sponsored. I'll sponsor you.
Right, okay, that sounds like a plan.
That'll be a quid per chilblain.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of money out of that. Or a pound per moan.
Oh, God, I can't afford that.
Jamie, what about you? Have you got any areas, any winter areas?
I guess due to the elevation in the fens, we're blessed with snow all through the winter. Really not. It's very rarely we get any snow around this neck of the woods. So, but if we do, of course, I would head to the silver birches because they look fantastic in the snow. The silver birches, so that would be a place I would head to straight away if we get snow. But no, so I'm struggling. One place I'd love to go in the snow, you mentioned it already, and because I'm a bit of a tree lover, is those Scots pines up in Scotland. I think it's around Torridon, all that area. I think Simon Baxter's shot some of them before, and maybe Thomas Heaton's shot some before, but the sort of lone Scots pines out there within the snow in that neck of the woods just look with the mountains in the background. That's the shot.
I like the Scots pine. I think they're a lovely tree, actually. Scots pine.
Yeah. I think Simon Baxter did a shot from Torridon, actually in the snow, with it snowing, and it was a lone tree.
Yeah, that's right.
And that looks amazing. So I'll tell you what then. Before we go, why don't we have one last little conversation? That I'm just going to make up on the spot. What are we having for Christmas dinner? Because wasn't it a bit of a weird selection last year, if I remember rightly?
Well, we had curry last year.
That's right. I knew someone had curry.
It was just me and Helen last year for Christmas dinner, and then we said, "Sod it, no Christmas dinner. We just have a really big fancy curry," which is exactly what we had. But this year, all being well and subject to change, we got all three kids back with us and partners for Christmas dinner. So we're going to revert back to a Christmas dinner, which, to be honest with you, it's nice enough, but I much prefer a curry. But the kids won't sit down to a Christmas dinner curry buffet type dinner. So,
and what meat are you having? Turkey?
No, we don't have turkey. We have chicken normally. Yeah. So with Christmas dinner, all the trimmings.
What, between six of you, you tight bastard.
Who enjoys turkey? Everyone
There's still
bitches
some left over for a curry afterwards.
Every year. Everyone
Yeah, but hang
moans
on a minute. 3 kids plus partners, you and Helen, a chicken. Oh, that's going to be a scrap, isn't it?
Oh yeah, just one chicken. Yeah, yeah. We like we don't like to spoil them, otherwise they'll stay too long.
You'll see the size of the chickens over here in the Fens days. You know,
oh, don't tell me they got 3 legs.
Yeah, extra legs, extra wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 beaks. What about you, Dave? Are you having crab linguine or whatever it was you had last year?
No, I'm not cooking this year. It's the lovely Mrs. G is putting together beef Wellingtons.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. With a red wine jus.
Okay. Jus. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. And what are you having in the Overland household?
Red wine jus.
Red wine.
Just the red wine.
I don't mean right now. I mean,
okay.
For Christmas.
As we always have, and I've had for years and years, a traditional Christmas dinner with turkey and all the trimmings. It's very traditional in our house. And to be honest, I really enjoy cooking it. It's something that I do every year. It's a tradition. I get up, I open a bottle of red wine about 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's there more or less finished by the time the dinner's ready. And I really love it. So yeah,
How much have you drunk tonight, Jay?
All of it.
All of it?
No.
Yeah, only half. There's still half there to go. Yeah, I've had a crap week at work, so I thought, I'm going to break open the red wine tonight and enjoy myself. So.
Sam, we've seen the real Jamie this week. Red wine.
Really?
All this like, I'm having a bishop's finger and a what have you. No, not really. He's
I've
a red
never had a
wine.
bishop's finger.
He's a red. Okay, all right. Go ship. He's a red wine drinker, really. Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
No, that was it. That's me. Traditional Christmas. All the trimmings: mushy peas, stuffing.
Mushy peas.
Mushy peas. That's not traditional.
No, it is in our house. Mushy peas is very traditional in our house. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know why? Don't you? Do you know why they're mushy peas? Because when most people get them out the pod, they haven't got too many fingers, so they can just pull them out. But when you've got the extra finger or two, you end up like doing that. It's like clunk, 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 and they become mushy. It's not a purposeful thing. I'm gonna get moaned at for picking on you tonight. You know that.
You are.
I mean?
Yeah, by me.
We'll never see Jamie. What I've decided to it'll be a mess. No, I've decided to give up YouTube. I'm never doing Pubcast again.
Because that Gary always picks on me.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry, mate.
So coming in, Gal, dude, has McDonald's got a Christmas menu?
They have
this
actually.
year?
Do you know what's really weird about McDonald's Christmas menus? Basically, if you say you go to McDonald's and there's a festive stack, yeah, right, which is like a festive burger, right? Basically, what it is this a normal burger with bacon. So putting bacon in it makes it festive, apparently.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's it. So that's what we'll be having. We'll be having festive stack meals and probably 20 chicken nuggets. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, we might do I think they do Christmas apple pies with the spice in.
That sounds good. I like that.
Yeah, actually, do you know what? I don't know why I brought the subject up, because I don't actually know what we're having. I think we're having. It'll either be chicken or turkey. But I'm not. I think it's turkey. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's turkey. We're going to have turkey. I enjoy it.
Are you not cooking it? It's traditional, isn't it? That the
no, I cook it. I cook it. Well,
you just don't know what you're cooking.
Can I be totally honest with you? Most of it passes me by, except for the roast potatoes. So the only bit I'm really bothered about cooking on Christmas dinner is roast potatoes.
Because what do you cook them in?
We do them occasionally in goose fat, but I cook them in
beef dripping.
No, you see, I cook them in cooking oil, right? Olive oil, sorry, and then loads of butter on top, some melted butter on top. And the secret with them is, you see, you got to cook them, boil them, and then when you get them in the colander, you give them a good shake. Give them a good shake. Yeah, they get really crispy. And I will eat probably 15 or 20.
What?
Yeah.
Not 15 or 20 roast potatoes.
Not at dinner. I'll eat probably several at dinner, but then we always have enough. So we've got cold roast potatoes to put them in the fridge and eat them later on with salt.
Well, the best thing about Christmas is Boxing Day. It's the bubble and squeak, isn't it? So it's your mashed potatoes and your mashed sprouts and your mashed cauliflowers fried in a pan. Oh, that's brilliant.
With pickle.
What you should do is have a word with your local McDonald's and ask them, got any chip oil I can blag off you? Because then you can infuse your potatoes with the flavour of McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's flavoured roast potatoes. I think I would probably die of a coronary by Boxing Day if that happens. But yeah, no, I yes, I do make the, well, I can't say it too loud because she's in the kitchen, but I do help to make the Sunday dinner. I do a lot of it, but I don't do all of it.
So you're keeping your voice down in case she comes in and says, no, he bloody doesn't.
Yes, there is a distinct possibility that could happen because they're just the other side of it.
Come on, Beth, fess up. Tell us what he's really like on Christmas Day.
I guess the only thing that's left to say really is that we hope everyone has a really fantastic Christmas and a really good New Year, and stay safe and well. And we'll all see you. When are we back? I think we're back something like the 7th of January, I think, something like that. So
I think can we just say how much we appreciate you guys sticking with us over this year, because we've managed to still put out a reasonable amount of crap throughout the year, and you all seem to still like it and give us some good comments. So we really do appreciate it. You know, it's good fun for us. And it seems to be good fun for you. So yeah, we'll keep sticking at it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
That's a very good point. Actually, we really do appreciate you watching and listening. And you know, the thing with the podcast is it's not scripted, and you know, it's not very well planned often, and so we do have, you know, bad days and good days, but you know, we really do appreciate you sticking with us. So yeah. So I think what we'll do is
let's call it, because I need to go to bed.
Yes.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, and we'll see you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Bye.